you have come such a long way, and to have my audience understand that the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur, you know, you go through so many things, and we just want anybody to know that if you believe in what you're doing and you want to do it, do it. But just know, as I think Evelina brought in the beginning, it's not an easy thing to be an entrepreneur. Hi, everybody. Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. We are here in the heart of Hollywood, LA. I'm here with my crew. Well, one of them today. I have Nick here because Chris is a little under the weather, but we're still here. We're going for it because I have a special friend. She is a go-getter, an entrepreneur extraordinaire. She just knows her shit. Let's just put it out there. And I just want to talk about what you do and all the exciting adventures you have on all your tours, as well as exotic cars that you're finally getting, and just go over everything you're doing, because I want people to know when they go to Vegas, they have to go on these tours, because it's got a lot of interesting things that you can do to, you know, therapy. You can do some therapy tours. You could do a whole bunch of things and just see the beautiful ends of what really Vegas is all about, because it's just beautiful out there. Nobody really knows about it unless you do these tours, right? So I have Evelina. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I love this studio, and I love how you can see Capitol Records in the background, and it looks so nice. I want to just hop in my little C8 Corvette and just speed over there and be there in an hour or so.
Let's go. Let's do it. We're going to do that no matter what. Hey, that's a given. We're going to do it. How about that?
Yeah, we got to do it.
Okay. Absolutely. So first of all, you know, sorry about this. We just put this up.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, so we met because we, you know, as entrepreneurs, we were in a mastermind together, and you know, it taught us so much, I think. And I wish we were still, you know, doing it, but it was kind of during the pandemic or right after. So we were having a little more time. But the mastermind was such an incredible way to understand each of us, to, you know, that are doing business and our problems, our successes, what we can do to better our business as well as ourselves. And, you know, getting to know each one of us, I think we really had a connection. And you know, when I went to Vegas, we got together. You were there for me for my birthday. And, you know, that's what it's all about. You know, communication, of being in situations where you find certain people and, you know, reaching out to them while you're still trying to learn to be our best us in terms of our business and entrepreneurship. So friendship can come out of that.
Yes. And what I liked about mastermind groups is that we're all working on our businesses together. Mm-hmm. And what the public sees, like they see all this cool stuff that everyone's doing, but within our group is when we get to share all those struggles. And there are a lot of struggles when it comes to entrepreneurship. And what's really cool is to keep in touch with people over a long period of time, and then be able to look back and really remember when we had that struggle. And at that time, it seemed like the world was ending. Everything was over. We can't do it anymore. But everybody just keeps on pushing each other, like, just make it to the next meeting, you know, and then it levels out. And it's really cool to see if you can get through that, there is like a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, because you don't think it's happening to anybody else but yourself. No. Until you get into these mastermind groups. And it's not just about hearing about their successes or, you know, the struggles. It's also like homework. Like we had to do some homework, like, you know, and it made us responsible kind of thing.
And brainstorming different ideas. And it's something that you can't really ask like a spouse or a partner. You can't ask your friends. You can't ask your family, because they don't know what each business person is going through. Whereas that is all we do all day long. And we're better able to find solutions to help each other out.
Mm-hmm. So I know from the beginning of when we were connecting through the mastermind that both of us were like, you know, where's our business really? It's like, do we have one?
We're like, should we even be here? Like mastermind, like who is the mastermind? Because it's not us. Yeah,
So,
that's
so
true.
to see how much, you've grown in
You've
your business
grown.
and me, right?
Which reminds me, I need to replenish my products. I keep picking it up. I'm like, it's on its last little drop. I go, I need to reorder.
Okay.
So your stuff, when you order it, whatever the cost is, it lasts so long that cost shouldn't even matter. It
Right.
lasts so long.
Oh, thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate you because it is true. I even write that on my notes. I write an individual note for everybody that places an order. I write
I do that for
I
my
put there.
merch too.
There you go. So with that, I say, and just so you know, a little goes a long way. Don't sit
Yes.
there and pump because
No.
you don't need it.
No,
But
you don't.
yeah. So I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
in terms of when you were starting out, I mean, I literally, like, I can't even believe the struggles that you had to go through, but the push through that you have done. And, how you, I mean, the money that it takes to get what you have, but you found ways to get these off-road vehicles. I mean, I know they cost a lot of money. And then the guiding tours like that, to have the right ones, you want the best of the best for the people that, go online and want to get a tour, that you're going to give them the best kind of guide that they can get. And that takes, a lot to go through people and stuff like that. But just the idea of, coming up with a budget to be able to do this, you found a way. Like, you found a way to get these.
Really a budget. It was like, what's the next item? And then it's like, how do I get the money for the very, very next item? Because the budget was usually minus $50 in my account. Yeah, that's usually where I was at. Yeah.
And so so you have off-road tours.
Yeah.
And their adventures, like I said, there's a therapy one, there's a scenic one, or is it all just scenic but therapy? I don't know. Like, I need to know so that I can help you.
I consider it like adrenaline therapy.
Adrenaline therapy.
Yes. So I was doing this about a year and a half in, and then I experienced a tragedy. And after this tragedy, I would just sit on my couch and stare at the wall. I didn't want to do anything. Like, it's one of those, like, what was the point of life? And I just sat.
Right.
And so then a friend of mine called me up and he's like, do you want to go off-roading? I said, yes. And it's weird because I do that for work, go off-roading every day. But it was a different car, a different mountain, different scene, even though it's still Vegas.
Right.
But just getting outside and just driving through the mountains, looking at animals. I was like, oh my God, this is what our guests experience, is just a break from life. It just completely broke up, like the trauma that I was going through. And I completely forgot about everything. And I was just enjoying that moment. And I'm like, that's why. So my boyfriend that I lost, his company was adrenaline therapy.
Oh, okay.
And it's weird that the adrenaline therapy kind of got me out of that depression after I lost him. And then I was like, that's how adrenaline therapy works. It breaks up like like a dark cycle that you're going through. So that's why I think people should be out there, whether they do our tours or something else. Like, I really promote people just going outside, doing something outdoors, just
nature, like seeing anything. Like go and smell the roses. Like, people don't stop and smell the roses is kind of like a quoted thing, but it's really true. We don't stop and see the beauty of our city, or, going to Vegas. You only think about people going gambling or, whatever. But, I just think that's the most amazing thing. So tell me about your tours. Like, how do you do it? How do you go about it? How do you
right. So we do have like two different ones, like a 2-hour one or a 4-hour one. The 2-hour one is more for people that don't have that much experience and only want to be out there for 2 hours. And you go through like the mountains, you have some rock crawling, going down hills, like different speeds, different whatever. And we do a lot of photos. You definitely have photos for your experience. Then we have.
Now, does somebody drive for you, or do you drive?
No, you drive your own vehicle.
Oh, they drive. Okay.
You drive. You're the driver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So what I find is fun is when there's like a couple that comes out, and usually the lady's like, I'm not going to drive. Like, I just don't, it's not my thing. Like, I'm too nervous. I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just say that you're too nervous? I'm like, oh no. I go, you're driving today. So when I'm the tour guide, I would have her come into my car and drive my car in the very front. And I'll say, you know, like, you don't have to go fast, but just the fact that you're in the car, you can go 5 miles an hour, but now you are driving an off-road vehicle, and they end up going faster and faster. And then they're like, wow, this is so
Right.
much fun. Like, and again, it like just breaks you out of that, like that little
Mold. It's almost like a mold
zone.
for women, right? A mold for us that
Yeah.
we're
And then
afraid to try things or try, guy things or not. I don't want to say guy things, but just things that are
let's try
more.
something. Yeah, a lot of women are really good at it. Like they are, because they seem to care more about the vehicles, more about driving. They listen. They ask a lot of questions. They don't get offended if you correct them. Whereas guys are, they get like really macho. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm driving the car. I know how to drive the car. I'm like, no, there's a rock coming around the corner. You can't see it unless you know the trail. I was just saying, like, there's a rock coming up, and whereas the lady's like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm totally sorry. Just letting you know there's going to be a rock coming around this corner. So slow down here and then speed up. And then they listen. They're like, okay, is this good? Should I go faster? Should I slow down? So ladies do listen a lot better and they end up learning quicker. And they have so much fun. And they're like, thank you for like making me. I'm like, yeah, I did make you.
See,
Yeah.
so then that's like a 2-hour one. So what is what do you do on a 4-hour?
So the 4-hour one, yes, is that one. Plus we also go down to Nelson's Landing, which is an abandoned, like it's a ghost town, an abandoned gold mine.
I
So
didn't know that in Vegas.
We're going to have to do a photo shoot there.
Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do photo shoots. They do a lot of weddings.
Oh.
It has like the older, like Western style, like houses, little chapels, gas stations are still there. All the old cars are still there. There's like a lot of old things still there. And the lighting there is beautiful. Like all the photos turn out so well. Yeah. So we stop there for about 30 minutes. We have lunch there. And then from there, we go down to Lake Mead. So right at the lake, people can jump in the lake if they want, or we keep going. There's
That
also
is so
like a cave.
cool.
Yeah,
That
it's like a
is
day
so cool.
adventure, all packed into 4 hours. And then there's the cave. So if there's time, we'll go down through like this cave and back out and then back through the mountains.
And what do you mean by guide? Okay, so it just depends on the guide. So where do they sit in the back or how's that work?
No, so there's different cars. So you would have your own car.
Oh, you just
car.
follow that. I see.
And then they go through all the different places and then you just follow along.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And wow. So we're going to put on here how to get a hold of you to, your website and any information that is needed to want to go on these tours in Las Vegas, because I think everybody should, at least if they visit there, need to try that. I mean, this is your business. I want them to do that,
So we do have a website, adrenalinejunkies.co. There's no M.
That's me too. Keto.co.
Yeah.
Because we're a company.
Yeah,
so we just go by company, CO.
The .com would have cost us $160,000. I'm like, I'm not willing to pay $160,000 for an M. I'm like, well, there's budget cuts for the M, so we don't have the M. That's why it's .co.
But that's getting more used. People are using that more often, so it's okay. It's all good.
And then so we just got into the information booth at Caesar's Forums. We just got there.
Good for you.
So I got to sit there, and then there's the information booth in the middle. Then we've got Louis Vuitton by one side, Versace. I'm sitting there. I'm like, our tour packages are like right there. Like we're right there. So next week I get to go in and train the sales team for that and spend a couple hours with them. We're also at North Premium Outlet Mall in the information booth there. And then the airport. As soon as you come in, we're at the arrival section. They have an information booth. So we're in those booths right now.
I'm so proud.
We're getting also put on some TV screens, and we are just getting our vehicle wrapped, which looks so, so cool. But yeah, otherwise, adrenalinejunkies.co is where to book.
That is, I know you guys, was it Caesars you said?
Caesar's Forums, yeah.
Caesar Forum. Okay, good. And then are you trying to get into other like areas?
Believing Before Seeing, a new book by Candace Barr, teaching you how to believe into existence. Available now for pre-order.
Yeah, so we had a meeting either with the information concierge that has that, or Cosmopolitan. So okay. Cosmo is next. But we don't want to just drop off pamphlets everywhere. We spent time to get to know the staff, the managers, the people that come around there. We watch everything and make sure that they have all the information that they're going to need and not just hand a pamphlet. So
Right.
the way they interact with the guests is the same way that they're going to be interacting with the tour guides. And it's not like a cheap, it's like,
I love that.
I call it like the Louis Vuitton of tours. We're not the cheapest, absolutely not the cheapest, because we're not Walmart. We're more like Louis Vuitton. You pay a little bit more, so you have better vehicles, less crowds, and a more personalized service. It's like the Louis Vuitton crowd.
We want that. We don't want Walmart.
I don't want that either.
We don't want Walmart.
Yeah. And then if there's other people on a tour, those people end up networking with those people because they're the same demographic. You know what I mean? And so, and I want to keep that because I love the customer service part. Like I love having, like,
you know, I gotta tell you. Okay, and then I want to get to the shenanigans that you include. Let's do that first. What do you mean by that when it's on your website? Like the shenanigans?
What do you mean shenanigans?
That's on your website. You said shenanigans included.
Oh, well, that's okay. So that would be different people have different sort of, like, we try to not have the same tour for every single person.
That's right? What I'm trying to say. It's more customized to the people that sign up.
Yes. So last night, actually, the tour guide sent me photos. And I started laughing. They found somewhere in the mountain, somebody dumped off an old hot tub.
Oh.
And what was funny is earlier that day, the tour guide sent me a text and he put tub instead of something else, like it was a typo. And then by the end of the day, they ended up finding this tub. And so they rolled it over. The guests got in and they were pretending.
Okay.
And they did a whole photo shoot with them sitting in a hot tub in the middle of nowhere. And everyone was just laughing hysterically. I'm like, that right there is what I'm talking about.
Right. Because it makes it special and custom. You know, like, it's not just your tour.
Head off. Like, obviously, we don't do an abandoned hot tub in the middle of nowhere. They just found that along the trail. They decided to stop. They're like, you know what? Let's see what's under here. They got in, did a hot tub shoot. Like, it was funny. And I'm like, always find something for these guests. Like, every single person is different. And so
you run your business like me. You just want to please and make sure everything is at top line, the best experience that they can have. It's not just like a, cattle call of just doing some kind of tour. It's very specific that you really take the time to try to customize or do whatever you can to have the best experience possible and get the better car and all that. So,
yes. And I've had phone calls where some people wanted like 10 cars in a row. I'm like, we can't do 10 cars in a row because we can only go as fast as like the last car. And it's going to be so slow. There's too many people. We're not going to get to know anybody. I go, that's just not what we do. Like, it would have been a good payday. I'm like, but that doesn't go with what Adrenaline Junkies stands for. That's more Walmart volume. Like, we don't care. I go, we don't do that.
Right. So you're willing to not do that so that the experience isn't really what that you're supposed to be getting out of what you have.
That's just like when I say, like, Louis and Gucci, if there's too many people in the store, you have to wait outside in the lineup because they want to make sure that every person is taken care of and not mass volume. Yeah.
And then you have your retail therapy. So you have your outfits and everybody can buy something off your website that,
I should have worn that, but yeah, I wear Adrenaline Junkies merch all day long, all the time. It was a while that I even bought something else. So it was a break to actually wear. You needed
to be glamorous today. Like, you need to show
I'm like, I'm on a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, the t-shirts again. So that was something that took me 4 months to make because
you wanted it right.
Redesigned it. And I asked people, like, do you like this one better, that one better? And it's not just like a stamped shirt. It's got like different layers and different feels. Like, you can like touch it and feel it. And I just love it. And different logos inside on the sleeve. So I'm really proud of it. And then when you see the t-shirt, like, actually out in public, like, and you see,
you're
like,
very
on the back
proud of it.
Adrenaline Junkies, it looks so cool. And I keep saying, I'm like, that is a cool t-shirt. I'm really
Right.
proud of that t-shirt. So I'm glad I spent 4 months on it and didn't just like throw something together.
Your ideas and your mindset, because you've been through a lot. You've done a lot. You're not from here. You're originally from I believe Canada, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know.
North Pole.
The North Pole. Okay. The North Pole. Let's say the North Pole. But being now in Vegas, you're really establishing yourself as somebody that is going to be huge within your industry. And I'm just so proud of you, because like I was going to say earlier, but this morning I pride myself on getting emails back to people, and if anything's wrong or anything, you take care of it right there. And somehow, some way, this lady, I'm just going to be brutally honest, is like, I opened up my email today and I got a 2-star, and I've been getting I've been getting 5 stars the whole time. And and the thing is, she did something on PayPal and a dispute, and it's in a different language. And you don't get notified from PayPal that there's an email or anything. I got an initial alert and I answered it. If it doesn't arrive, I will refund or we'll figure it out. And then I don't get any other alerts. Like, and so it's really? PayPal. And so you don't go there for emails. You go there to see your money or whatever.
Yeah,
it's a money thing. It's accounting. Yeah. So, I looked her up and then I emailed her this morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, I will do anything you need me to do. And I'm so sad about this, because it's not even about the product. So now the product quality is going down because it's not about the product, it's about me. And if you would just email me from my website.
And that's the thing, like if this lady even knows, like even like half of what, like she would know that if there's anything wrong, that you would have been on it right away. Like,
so I said, if you email me from my website, I will get everything to you. She just emailed me. She goes, well, I'll retract that, because, and I'm like, most people go through a website to hear from customer service, not a PayPal money situation. So
there's like emails, phone calls, texts, like contact.
And I said, oh my, I'm so thankful that you emailed me. I'm here. I got you. I will take care of you. And so she emailed me back. She goes, oh, I'll retract that. And I'm like, thank you, because it's not about the product. You're not going to bring the product quality down when there's just a PayPal email to me. Like, no, I don't get emails from PayPal. They just send, tell me how much money's in there and they convert it back to my account. I know nothing about. So anyway, it really, and it just brought my whole energy down this morning. But when I got that email back from her, after I took the time to email her and said, this is not, I would email you back. I've emailed everybody back, and I will take care of you and anybody else I've taken care of. So she now gets it. So customer service is so important. And we go far beyond. I know you do. You go far beyond to what we need to do to make our business successful. My show is called Ageless Ambitions. And we, as we brought up earlier, have had struggles to, me starting over from owning a business after 28 years and just, not knowing how I was going to do it, because it's so different than what I was doing when I had my business and was very successful. But, where we've come from, just not knowing where we were going in terms of starting something, you have come such a long way. And to have my audience understand that the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur, you go through so many things, and we just want anybody to know that if you believe in what you're doing and you want to do it, do it. But just know, as I think Evelina brought in the beginning, it's not an easy thing to be an entrepreneur. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of struggle. It's a lot of, oh my gosh, overnight, just getting emails like I just told you, and you work so hard, and those things matter. And so I would love for you to, help the audience say, hey, this is what I do. I own this amazing company. And if that's something that, whatever your passion is, go for it. Just know that this, that, and the other, because I can keep saying it, but to hear it from somebody that is really doing an amazing job and seeing success happen, can you help the audience?
So yeah, so listening with some of the other entrepreneurs as well, like the high net worth ones, we all agree that not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. So just because that's your dream, we're not the type that's gonna say, yeah, go for it if that's what your dream is. A lot of people can't do it. It's so much hard work. I would say we all put in between 100 and 130 hours a week, every single week. With that comes a lot of sacrifice. Like I haven't been seeing my friends for years. Like, you know how hard it was for us just to get together for like.
And we are still trying, and we're going to do it finally. Right? Because it's like, this is our.
Wait a minute. We've been trying for a year and a half now. I'm like, okay, that is true. How often do we just reach out every once in a while to say, I really miss you, want to see you? You're only 4 hours away. 3 if I take the C8.
Right.
Right. And how often am I like, you know what, I should just hop in the car, drive over there, have a quick coffee with you in the morning and drive right back. And yet that moment, we just don't find those moments, right? I get text messages from non-entrepreneurs like, oh, when's your next free weekend? I'm like, we don't do free tours ever. They're like, no, when do you get it? I'm like, we don't do free anything. I'm like, what do you mean a free weekend? Like, I don't, that's not a thing. And there is so much that you need to be able to, it's almost like maybe a gambler. I'm not sure. You have to be willing to go all in, be willing to lose everything, and then do it all over again.
There you go.
I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah. People don't understand that.
You'll put in your last dollar. I mean, there's been times that I haven't paid my rent because I bought another car. I'm pretty candid with people, like around even my leasing office. I'm like, I know I bought a new car. It's on Instagram. I didn't pay my rent, but I will in a couple of days because now I have a new car, so I can make more money.
Make the money to get, yeah.
I go, so now I can, and the chances of me paying my rent like on time every time, and sometimes I don't pay my rent because I never had the time to pay it. And so when I do have a moment, I stop in, and the ladies here, like, they laugh, like, no, sometimes you've paid your rent twice in a month because you thought you were late and you couldn't remember. I'm like, so you try, but there's been times when I haven't had food in my fridge for days. That happens, sometimes I'm late on paying bills. And so what it is just wondering, okay, with this $1,000 that I have, where do I invest it? Right. I haven't had shoes in a long time. In fact, all I do is buy car parts and cars. So when I actually bought a pair of shoes 2 years later, my credit card got flagged and shut down for fraud. I'm like, because I haven't bought shoes in 2 years. I bought shoes. They're like, this girl doesn't buy shoes. It was odd. And they shut down my credit card. I'm like, no, I legit try to buy shoes. And then there's times when your girlfriends ask, if you want to go out and meet them for dinner. You're like, well, I have the time, but I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have money for valet. My gas tank is on empty. You're like, yeah. So you go and you order like a salad. I'm not hungry. I just ate, but really it's because you have no money in your account and you're just trying to do what
because you're investing anything that you're making back into your company. It's not for you kind of thing, right? No.
So it goes in cars and car parts, marketing. You're doing your own sales, your own marketing, your own tours, you're following up with the guests. You're on the phone with the guests late at night because they have more questions about wanting to buy a Can-Am. And so you want to fuel their dream of buying a Can-Am. And you're like, I have a tour at 6 o'clock in the morning, but you're not going to hang out because someone's so passionate about the tour that they had and you inspire them to buy a Can-Am, and it's, a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes you just stare at a wall and you're like, why am I doing this? I know there's supposed to be a why and you don't know, but you should just be doing it.
Right.
So it's not for everyone. Absolutely join a business network that's not your friend, not your family.
Like we did, right? Like our what we were doing.
Mastermind,
yeah.
Because no one's going to understand being an entrepreneur other than a person that's doing the exact same thing.
Right. So that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
Important.
Yeah. Well, I certainly appreciate you. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk about your business so that we can get anybody that's driving into Vegas or flying into Vegas, that they know that they can go on these amazing tours and just, free their mind, get out of the the smoggy area of Vegas, right? And
Such a
where
nice
everybody is, and just, they only see this little bubble, but there's so
Yeah.
much more to, see beauty. And that's one reason why I do like driving to Vegas sometimes, because you just see,
It's a nice drive.
yeah, and just think. And you could do that on these tours, or you can do the adrenaline side of it, whatever you want to do to, see outside the bubble in Vegas. This is what your company's all about. And I can't wait for more people to hear about it.
Yeah. And if anybody has any business related questions, like if you're chasing a dream and you're just stuck or need whatever, like I'm always willing to help anybody out that wants to.
You always say that. So I appreciate that. And maybe somebody will reach out to you, because your Instagram will be on here, all your info. So if you need any questions answered on entrepreneurship, Evelina is there to guide you and help you in any way, because she's so good with that. Thank you for being here on Ageless Ambitions. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on Ageless Ambitions on Lux Media Studios. You have to watch this one as well as all my other podcasts, because they can give you so much information as well as just inspiration. So we're here for you. Bye, everybody.